Well, hello there, friends. Welcome to the Speak with People show, Fridays at 12 p.m. I'm so glad you are joining me. If you are joining me, I'd love to know where you're joining me from. Would love if you would comment, let me know where. My goodness, last week, we're going to announce this in a minute. Our John Maxwell Book Award winner is from Nairobi, Kenya. I almost said Nairobi, Canada. That's not the case. And so I've got to ship this baby out today to Kenya. But I'm so excited that Naomi won this book. So I know that people are tuning in from all different parts of the world. My goodness. The Speak with People community group has people from the United States, Canada, Honduras, Dominican Republic, Africa. Just exciting. So would love to know where you are from. Would love to know all that kind of stuff. So let's just jump in. Today, it is exciting because the winner last week, twice a month, I'm going to try to do a free book giveaway. And so if you watch this, we do this live and then we post it on YouTube. And so if you ever miss a Friday episode, there is a Speak with People show podcast on both the Jason Raitz Speaker and Speak with People YouTube. But our winner from last week was Naomi from Kenya, and I'm so excited that I'll be shipping this out. And so next week, we're going to be giving away this book, Building a Storybrand by Donald Miller. Building a Storybrand by Donald Miller, which is just an awesome book if you've never read it. Just has some absolutely incredible information that you need, especially if you tell stories, if you're a speaker, if you're an author, if you do marketing, if you're a leader, if you lead anything. Like, this is just a tremendously important book. And so next week we'll be giving that away. So if you watch this on YouTube, make sure you tune in next week live because we'll be giving that book away and we'll be going to town. So, hey, I want to talk about a few things today on the Speak with People show. The first being the why, what, how, where of the community group. I would love to talk about that for a second because we have this growing community of people in the Speak with People community group. And if you're not a part of it, all you've got to do is go to Facebook and in the search bar, type in Speak with People community group and bam, it'll bring up the community group. You can press, get access, and then one of our admins will let you in. We ask that you, answer a few questions, and then once you're in, you're in. And here's what we hope you'll get out of this. We hope you'll get inspiration. We hope that you'll get ideas on how you can communicate better. We hope that you'll be challenged because we don't want it to just be somewhere where you come and there's just, not anything to challenge you, but we hope that you'll be inspired, challenged, and encouraged by the different posts. And so we try to put, all different types of posts and polls and questions and ideas so we can kind of grow together. So we hope that this group, we're helping each other grow. And so one of the best things I love is when people comment, they do a post about where they're from and what they do, and they kind of let the whole group kind of know, I love that absolute kind of stuff. That's just incredible. And then I love when we're able to kind of keep the conversation going. So if it's in your wheelhouse, I know some people hate commenting on Facebook. I know some people hate that kind of stuff. Hey, no pressure at all. No pressure, but would love if you would consider doing that, because when we post questions or somebody else posts a question, it is just, it's insanely awesome when we're all adding our ideas in a constructive, kind, helpful way. In this group, there's never going to be any lashing out at each other. There's never going to be any, that's a dumb idea. Absolutely not. But we do want to challenge each other. And so I do want to post stuff sometimes, and I want to hear what people have to say about it. If they disagree, if they would go about it a different way, if there's a healthier way to go about it. So that's just huge. So for you, what I really encourage you to do is try to figure out, in the course of your week, what is the time that you can, commit to the community group. We don't press the everyone button every single post. I know some people don't like that. Some people do. I personally like it because I'm in a million groups. I don't ever get the notifications if I don't, if they don't press that everyone button, but I know that's not for everyone. But what we try to do is on Mondays, we try to let you know when the new blog post publishes on the Speak with People blog. And so this last week was just an incredible post about storytelling with video. And so we put that post on Mondays. We do questions on Wednesdays. We put when the new podcast drops. And this podcast was awesome. It was from Trey Van Camp, who's got just an amazing YouTube page. We talked about telling our stories online. And I'm under this preface with my life and your life. I really believe that each of us can live a great story with our lives. Every single one of us. Tons of people will tell me, Jason, I don't have any stories. You've got all these great stories, and I just disagree. My co-host on the Speak with People podcast, Dennis Poulette, he introduced me to a great book called Storyworthy. And in this book, the basic concept is everybody's story is worthy of being told. And so, that's what we hope we can do, with each other. And so in this podcast, we just tell you, we kind of break down, hey, how can you share your story online, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, all those different kind of things would be absolutely huge. So that's kind of the who, what, where, how, why. It'd be amazing if you would share it with one of your friends. If you would say, hey, I'm a part of this Facebook group, would love it. So that's about, what we're doing. Okay. So you probably saw this. Here's another big kind of awesome, exciting deal. We've launched our first course. It's called the Pathway course. It's live now on speakwithpeople.com/thepathway. speakwithpeople.com/thepathway. Here's the thing. I would be honored if you would go to that website and check out this course. This is not a free course. It's to buy. It's actually $197. And what we tried to do is we tried to take as much incredible practical experience. We tried to take practical resources. So every single module in this course has different resources to help you put together talks. Someone recently commented in the Facebook group. They said, I just want to be able to get more. I want to be able to be more clear when I speak. Well, guess what? Step 5 of the pathway is to embrace clarity. And there's a doc inside of this thing called the Clarity Box, which helps you put together a very clear message. So would love for you to go check out the pathway and experience that. Okay, so here's what we want to talk about today. I just got a text from Dennis. Okay, all right, we're good. We got that up and going. So here's what we're going to talk about. The topic today, just in the Speak with People show, is this. How do I phrase it? Let me say this. We're in communication all the time with people. We send out texts, they text us. We send out emails, they email us. We call, we leave voicemails. What is our responsibility? What is our responsibility for following up? Oh, I love this. Dennis Poulette says, the conversation with Trey Van Camp was amazing. Listen or watch the podcast now. You are so correct, Dennis. Thank you so much for that. Absolutely. I should, you know what? I'll do this because we are live. Let me do this on the fly. I'm going to share my screen really quick, and I'm going to go to the podcast page so you can see, in case you miss it, so you can see where the page is for the podcast. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Look at this. On the fly, learning how to do this. If you go to speakwithpeople.com/podcast, you will come up to this website, Elevating the Importance of Practice Healthy Communication, whether you communicate one-on-one, to a team, from a stage, or from behind a screen. So all the information about the podcast is here. All the different links, Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Amazon, there's just so many. And then the latest episode, there it is. Trey Van Camp, does my story need to be told online? And like Dennis said, like I say, yes, it does. Everyone's story is great. And you have this tremendously amazing opportunity to share your story. So make sure you try that out. On this page, there's different information. And so, it would be amazing if you'd help us spread the word and tell people about the podcast. And especially if you have different ideas for guests that you think, man, I would love for this guest to be on the podcast, email me, jason@speakwithpeople.com. Would love to help. Shortly, probably as we get going back into the fall, on Fridays on the Speak with People show, we're going to have a guest every Friday as well. And so now that it's summer, we're just trying to get the kinks out and move this thing forward. As we get to the fall, every single Friday we'll have a guest. We'll interview them. We'll talk about different parts about their leadership and communication. It's just going to be exciting. It's going to be fantastic. But email me, jason@speakwithpeople.com. Would absolutely love to be able to know what you think and what would be helpful for you. Okay, so how important is it for you for people to be responsive when you message them? How important it is for people to be responsive. So we all have these different ideas of responsiveness. We text somebody, we want them to text right away. We want them to email right away. And and then for many of us, we're in positions where we're telling people about our product or our service or our coaching package or whatever it is, and we're sending lots of cold emails. So how should we respond to people who, send us these obviously cold emails, these obviously cold messages? So I think for me as a leader, I am trying to correct my responsiveness. I have not been incredibly great with my responsiveness. And so if you go to my email inbox, there are some emails that still need to be returned. Because sometimes what happens with me is I get emails and then they just kind of pile up, and then I get Facebook messages and they really pile up and I don't become very responsive. Or I want to think through. I really want to think through what I'm going to say before I email. And then, okay, a day goes by or 2 days. Here's I think would be a helpful practice for us all. 24 hours. If someone emails you, someone sends a Facebook message, 24 hours. 24 hours. Now, if you're getting hundreds of messages a day, somebody said to me the other day, I get 500 emails a day. Okay. Maybe you need 36 hours. But if you want to continue to grow your communication, you want to grow your leadership, the reality is you've got to learn how to be a responsive leader. And so if you're in that category where you're getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails and messages, then it's probably time to have a virtual assistant help you respond to all of those. But for the rest of us, we need to be responsive. We need to figure out how to be as responsive as we can, because it shows kindness, it shows caring. So if you're watching this live right now, I'd love to know what you think about how responsive we should be. Like, how much time do you think should go before you send an email reply back? Oh my goodness. We have someone joining us from India. I love it. Thank you so much for joining us. Boy, that is exciting. On the other side of the world, you are joining us. This is, man, I love this. How fantastic. And I love that about the Facebook group. I love that we have people from many different countries, and we're all learning how to become better communicators as leaders together. I love it. I love it. Okay, so if you are live, tell me, comment. How much time do you think is responsible to be responsive after you receive an email? And again, we're clarifying, not an email that's obviously a cold email or sent out through a marketing service or those kind of things, but an actual email written to you. How much time? I'm suggesting 24 to 36 hours. That's what I'm suggesting. And then I would also suggest, if you're going to be away from your email for a few days, go into your little settings and set up that away button, so people know when they email you, hey, it's going to be, a week till I get back, or it's going to be however long. And so it's just huge. Okay, let's talk about text messages now. How responsive should we be for text messages. Somebody texts us. Now, I got to be honest. I struggle with this one because I get a text message and my phone is going off and I get text messages and 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 text messages, just like you do. And sometimes I get so overwhelmed by the text messages that I don't want to respond, or I'm trying to think through how to respond. Now, let me just give you a couple thoughts on this. Okay, within a day, 24 hours, unless it's the weekend and it's work email. Okay, that's absolutely huge. That's good to know about email. See, I agree. 24 hours. 24 hours. Very important. Very important. Okay, so now text messages. Text messages, how long? How long? Especially if you're in a relationship with someone. Not meaning, a romantic relationship. I mean a friendship relationship or a business relationship. How long should we expect? And a couple different thoughts on this. Some people think, oh, I love this. Sorry, I had to stop. I love this. Jamie LaPost says, sometimes I think I responded, but I only did it in my head. Jamie, yes, I do this all the time. Actually, my wife will remind me that sometimes I'll dream that I dream that I replied. Has anybody ever done that? Like, raise your hand if you've ever done that. Like, or you're like working out and you're going through everything that you need to do. I'm a list guy, so I make lists for everything. And I have lists in my Google Tasks. And I'll write it down that I responded and I never did. And so I got into a bad rut a while ago of, all of my text messages was to say this: hey, I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to respond. Now I'm trying to be as responsive as I can with the amount of time that I have available. If it's past, 6, 7 o'clock for me, I think the people closest to me know they're not going to get a text message till the next day. I'm winding down. I would love to text people, early in the morning when I first get up, but I know it's not responsible to text at 4:30, 5 o'clock. Let me just say this about text messages. If you're having like a bit of conflict going on with the person, time out. Do not carry on that conflict over text. Just don't do it. Here's why. Everything can be screenshot, right? Everything can be screenshot. And so if you want to say something that you don't mind comes back to you, then go ahead. Do all of that over text, do all the conflict away. But I think wisdom says it's better to call that person or get face to face if you're trying to work out that conflict. That's just huge. So text messages, I think it depends who's in your circle. A lot of times I talk about our home team, and our home team is the people closest to us, and they keep going outside of circles. So those first couple circles of people who are closest to us, I try to respond as quick as I can, when I can. And then the people who are on the outside circles, especially if they're business relationships or people that I'm trying to build a relationship with, again, I try to respond within a couple of hours, but no longer than 24 hours. 24 hours, I think, is the rule. So email, text, and then voicemails. I know some people, we just don't like to talk on voicemail anymore. But the reality is, it's important. It's absolutely important. And so again, I think what we've experienced through our time together today, 24 hours makes a great plan. Great plan. Responsiveness definitely is a trait and a clarity that is helpful. Responsiveness. So how important it is to follow up? Very, very important. Let me ask you one more question. What if you're in a conversation with somebody and they, you ask a question and then they just disappear and they never answer it? How responsive should you be? Well, if you're looking for an answer, I think you should call them. Pick up the phone and find out what the answer was and call them. Okay. Well, that's what we try to accomplish on the Speak with People show. We go over a few things that are happening within Speak with People. We try to nail down on a topic. I can't wait for the fall, because what I hope is we'll get to the place where you just know at 12 p.m. on Fridays, you can grab a lunch. You can sit in front of your computer, your phone, wherever you're at. If you're in between, you're driving from, wherever you're at. If you're a teacher, you're in between class, and you'll join a conversation that we're going to have. And so we're going to start scheduling some great leaders to interview them about all different communication topics. I absolutely can't wait. Remember, next week, we're going to do this as a giveaway, Building a Storybrand by Donald Miller, which is just going to be awesome. Again, thank you so much for checking out the Pathway course. This is a step-by-step video training course. We have written this to the leader who you don't speak all the time in front of people, but you want to improve your skills. You want to be ready when you're called upon. You want to be able to formulate thoughts quicker. You want to boost in your confidence. This is the course for you. This is the course for you. And again, like always, email me if you have any questions, you have any thoughts, you have ideas. Jason@speakwithpeople.com. All right, my friends. Thank you again for joining me on today's show. Can't wait till next week. I hope you have an absolutely great weekend. And I will see you